You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network.
Okay, we're here on Phoenix 92.5 FM and streaming via YouTube and Twitch on nerdtoknowmedia.com. Thank you for joining us. I am your guest host this evening, Venus DeVilo from Straight Outta Canto, and tonight is an extra nerdy night. It's a Nerd to Know Media and Straight Outta Canto special, crossover special. We have joining me. Who's joining me tonight?
Hello, it's Bryn.
Hey, it's Dara.
I'm Dave from the Wrestling Rewind, also on Nerd to Know Media. Let's make it a three-way, guys.
Make it four, baby, because Kev from Anime Crash Course is here.
Woohoo!
yeah.
Sounds like we have got a party tonight. Okay, so to everybody listening, you're all welcome. You are basically going to be judge, jury, and executioner tonight because I have a deep and dark confession to make. For the last God knows how many years, Straight Outta Canto has not had Netflix.
Shock and awe.
I know. Saturday morning, I changed that. I downloaded Netflix primarily so I could watch Ju-on Origins, the new TV show, because y'all know I got a graw for the J-horror thing. And you're all invited tonight, basically, to tell me what the hell I'm meant to be doing with my life with Netflix. What am I to watch? And you guys in the chat, on social media, get in touch. Let us know. What are you excited about on Netflix? What should I educate myself on? Because I know I've been a fool. I see the light. It's all good. So, where to begin?
Well, first I'd say, Netflix is good, but you know what's better? Shudder.
Okay.
And you should also use the Brave browser.
Oh, God, who invited Dara?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's
There,
Dara.
there you go. Dara's top piece of advice for getting Netflix. Don't get Netflix, get Shudder.
Shudder, it's okay. You can sponsor us. It's all good.
And make sure that whichever streaming service you're using, use it on Brave because we're not only sponsored by but powered by Brave.
Powered by Brave. And also, if you want to just give us money on PayPal, you can do that too.
Yeah. That's always an option.
Always an option. Sorry for coming across you. But yeah, Netflix. Hold on, before we get into it, I was shocked you didn't have Netflix, Lisa.
I just never needed it. There was nothing that ever spoke to me as there was no TV show that ever kind of drew my attention as much as possibly Ju-on Origins. So I was like, now to be fair, like I said before, the most, I in honor of me getting Netflix, the most Netflix thing I did was watch the entire season of Tiger King in one go and then immediately have a shower afterwards and just question like my life.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
It was written.
Basically. Yeah, I think Tiger King was the thing that got me thinking, okay, maybe get Netflix. Then I'm like, nah, I don't need that filth in my life. And then when I heard about Ju-on, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
It's funny because Tiger King to me is kind of the result of like, well, I have a Netflix account. I guess I've got nothing better to do.
No, I have Netflix and it's lockdown. So it's like, there's nothing else
first
to do.
week. God,
yeah, exactly.
It's just surprising the fact that like it never grabbed you before this, just considering like the such high profile shows that have come out for it the past few years.
Exactly.
Like
like Stranger Things.
Back when before we disavowed Kevin Spacey, like House of Cards was a huge deal.
Oh, that was on Netflix. Yeah.
So like it's just kind of like major TV shows that were getting a lot of publicity. It's surprised that like none of them grabbed you really kind of.
No, not at all. Stranger Things. I hate children. Like I hate children in TV, in real life. Anything with children, like older teenagers, that's fine. Like from Buffy age onwards, but children just really annoy me.
Also, where it's people in their 20s acting like teenagers. Yeah.
Yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Fair.
That's why Smallville was such a great TV show. You had a 29-year-old playing a 17-year-old in high school.
As is tradition.
Yeah. That is the traditional way. Same thing happened in Sabrina. You can't blame Smallville for that. There's a lot of things to give out about Smallville, but we don't have the time today.
Hold on.
That is not this episode.
Hold on. Which Sabrina are we talking about? Are we talking about the comedy Sabrina or the amazing Sabrina, which is going to be my pick later on?
The comedy Sabrina, because that's the one that actually had a 29-year-old playing a 17-year-old.
No way. Who?
Melissa Joan Hart.
You're joking.
29?
Welcome to the show.
She was well into her late 20s when she was.
I would have said.
Oh my God, that's
mid 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, I would assume she was like 20, but not mid 20s. Wow.
No.
She looked up at her age. And hey, she blocked Kevin Owens on Twitter, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like par for the course. Who hasn't felt the need to block Kevin Owens at some point? You know,
I'm missing
outside of
something.
him being relentlessly heartwarming. But you know, if he's picking on you, you'd think about it.
Actually, a funny thing. Speaking of wrestlers blocking each other, Bully Ray is blocking everybody for not recognizing his WWE title as
Okay,
outside
hold
WWE
on.
wins.
Okay,
So,
okay. Rewind. This is not the wrestling rewind.
it's not the wrestling rewind, but it was brought up.
Goddamn
Hold
No.
on.
Yeah, you
Just
think I'm not
bring it
going to
up.
sneak plugs in here?
Footnotes.
Footnotes. He's in footnotes. But listen,
Oh.
one thing I would say to start things off, Lisa, my first pick on this is going to be Sabrina,
Yeah, that is on the list.
the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Why? It's because obviously, if you're of a certain age, you watch the comedy show,
Yes,
Mhm.
very
and
much
it's,
so.
and it's kind of like ingrained now, where we all know it, and we all have a lot of love for it, right?
Oh yeah.
But there's this is like not it, right? This is
Oh,
completely different.
okay.
This is not it completely. It's based on the comic the comic series, graphic novel series that came out about 8 years ago. Chilling Adventures. It's like the reboot of the whole thing, and it kind of goes back more towards the Archie origins, but it's also around the same time as they kind of went darker. So like Riverdale really took off and kind of set the tone for what's going on to it.
Yeah.
And when they wrote the series, it really leaned into the more kind of dark elements of it, right? And it's really good. Like the first series kind of follows the first book pretty like much to the letter, but it was never finished. So when you're like, they never actually finished the comic because all the writers went off to finish the show.
Oh.
So yeah, so like,
Okay.
but the shows got cancelled, so I has one left, like one run left, and hopefully they'll wrap up everything. But that's the hope. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But to put this into perspective, Sabrina marries Cthulhu.
No.
Oh, it
Yeah.
goes. I've watched most of this myself. It goes all in on the occult and the satanic.
Oh, you got me. You got
No,
me.
seriously,
I was already going to do it, but now
With
Cthulhu
practical
winning. Okay.
effects.
Oh no!
Jesus.
Listen, this is the show to watch, and some people hate it because I don't know why people hate it, but it goes all in with, like, as Kev said, with satanic and the cult, and it's like it's properly
brilliant.
dark. Like, for example, her cousin Ambrose is arrested for trying to bomb the Vatican.
Kinky. Okay.
Which actually feels like that's more pulled, because it feels like to me Ambrose was kind of just what they took Salem from the original.
Salem,
The Nickelodeon
exactly.
CD.
They just went
And they were just
harder.
like, okay, we're going to separate him into two characters. One is just a cat, and then the other is Ambrose.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like this is just what Salem from the original series is doing.
Exactly. Like it takes all the elements from the original series that they played for comedy, and then turn it really dark. But what's great about it is the girl who plays Sabrina, like, she does a really good role. The whole cast is excellent. The girl who played Eowyn in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you're one, Liv Tyler.
No,
No,
Miranda
not the
Otto.
blonde one. Yeah.
Blonde one, yeah, Miranda Otto, yeah. She's in it, and you don't even recognize it's her. And then the other aunt was in Shaun of the Dead. So like, there's loads of people in here. Like, oh wow, okay, cool. And I'd say, if you've never seen it, definitely it's a must watch. Then you'll binge it. Like, anytime it comes out, I just hockey through it. I will have to say, by season 3, it gets really silly, but I love it. It's like it goes really
I
Evil
stopped
Dead.
watching it halfway through season 3.
Well, I can understand that, because there's a lot. What turned me off in season 3 was the singing, like the band.
What?
Yeah. They have a
like
band.
a musical episode.
No,
like
they have a
Buffy,
band. And
Oh.
there's just musical breaks because it's kind of Glee, but you can get over it.
Oh
and
no!
Hold on. It has that feeling in it, but it passes.
It
It passes.
It revels in that kind of B-movie schlock effect.
It knows it's a B movie.
There's
it
like
goes
the best
hard.
episode is a full courtroom serial episode.
Yeah,
and that's
so
the first season.
First season is the strongest one. You'll love the second. You'll love the first season.
Okay.
Second season gets really dark. Third season, stick with it. And sure, it's cancelled now, but we'll get a conclusion hopefully. But my recommendation, it's very. I'd imagine it's more enjoyable now as a binge watch than anything else now. To be honest.
Right. Okay.
But definitely a strong recommendation. Start there. You'll love it.
Oh yeah, no.
It has everything.
Yeah, I think even though I haven't seen it, I think people probably were averse to it because of the nostalgia factor of the original series and just how iconic it was. And it's probably just that whole, oh no, you're changing the thing I love. No, 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 no.
I think it's also sorry to cut across you. I think a lot of people also conflated it with Riverdale, which has been doing terrible things.
Well, see, the thing about it is it does have some crossover, and there was supposed to be a crossover, but obviously that's not going to happen. But
the thing that put me off with it was that it's the same, like a huge amount of the creative team from it also worked on the Arrowverse shows.
And I love those.
Yeah, I used to love them, and then I very quickly found that I hated them. And
did you watch Crisis on Infinite Earths though?
Oh no! I gave up 2 years ago.
See, Flash is what carries it for me.
Hold on, what I will say is right on that, Bryn. The Arrowverse is fantastic because Constantine comes back and it really picks up. So it's worth watching just for that.
Yeah, but the problem is that like I don't have the time to go into why I don't like it, but what I would say is that like a lot of the hallmarks of what I didn't like in terms of how they told stories in the Arrowverse kind of show up to a certain extent in Sabrina, and that just made me go like, oh no, I've been here before, not doing this again, thanks. And just stopped watching. Because like, but I mean like, yeah, I mean there's still some really, really good stuff in it. I think that the characterization of Sabrina is at times it's really, really good, at other times it's really questionable. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like she gets like on these like Lisa Simpson-esque self-righteous tracks, and it just, I don't know, it just becomes a bit unbearable to watch at times, but like, at the same time, definitely worth a watch.
For me, all the negatives are outweighed by the extreme positives.
Okay. Well, that's definitely, I think that definitely swings it, at least worth giving it a watch, you know what I mean? Definitely.
And I will be following up, Lisa, because I guarantee you'll love it. You just
no,
will.
I no. If you say I will, I know I will.
Yeah.
Like y'all know my jam by now. Like
this is true.
So I'll chime in now with my own pick, which is a anthology series, but it's probably not the anthology series you were thinking of because it's Love, Death, and Robots, which is so. The title alone is awesome.
I still haven't seen it.
Cool.
It's been on my list. I still haven't seen it. Thanks for reminding me.
What is it?
Love, Death, and Robots is seriously good. Like it has it's kind of like an anthology series in the same way that like the Animatrix is.
Ooh.
Where so you get like all these different kinds of stories told. So there's a huge so if you don't like one, you'll probably like one of the other ones coming down the line because there's just so many. There's like I'm just pulling it up again here. So there's like 18 to watch, and there's like 18 to watch, and like I mean they all vary in length, but I think the longest one around them is like 25 minutes long, and then shorter than that. So, you know, like they're not a huge in terms of time investment. They're not a huge investment. You could just like put on one a day, and it would take you the guts of a month.
And what kind of genre are we talking? Like, what kind of themes and topics? Like, what is it exactly?
So, I mean, they go like I mean, there's so many. Like, they all are very separate. Like, you have one where it's like three different kinds of robots going through a post-apocalyptic wasteland, just talking about the world they live in, and like one of them's like a history bot, so it's kind of giving them like it has like this guided tour kind of feel to it. It's very good. There's one where there's like where it's like these people controlling these like monsters but kind of like it's like kind of like Robot Wars, but with like biotic machines basically. It's so friggin' good. That's actually the opener. It sets a very strong tone.
Okay.
Then there's one where it's like this weird kind of story where a person witnesses another person killing someone, and then it's them just having like a cat and mouse thing through a city. And it's very, very fun. But they're all like, I don't think there's like so much of like there's not so much of like a through line in terms of theming between them. But then again, like I've watched them like 2 or 3 times, but I haven't paid that enough attention to say verbatim, that there is a through line, but like
Okay.
they're like they kind of like move like a Dan Brown stories where they jump from helicopter to helicopter.
Ah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of it.
Definitely worth a shot. Definitely worth a shot. It's so good. Has anyone else seen Love, Death and Robots?
No, I never. I think I watched like the first half of the first episode.
Yeah,
and it was one of those nights where I just wasn't in the mood for it. And like I just keep forgetting to actually go back to it.
Yeah,
I can vouch for it without seeing it because it's been on my list since it came out. I always forget about it, but anyone who have seen it says it's one of the best things you'll watch on Netflix. So
yeah, it definitely is one of the best things you'll find on Netflix.
I've heard like the one thing I've heard recurringly is that like even if the subject doesn't actually kind of get you, it's the art of it, because like apparently it's kind of like different multimedia aspects.
Oh yeah, totally.
Per episode, yeah.
Like the
So
the Animatrix,
everything changes. Like the kind of storytelling done changes. There's like each one's like a different. I would assume it's a different animated team, different voice acting crews and everything. So like,
oh wow,
everyone has a different look and a different feel to the one that you just saw. So it's great.
Oh wow, that sounds like a lot of time and effort went into that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
There would have to have been for it. But yeah, definitely would recommend putting that near the top of your list.
Oh, and is it just one season or?
Unfortunately, it's only 18. It's only the what did I say again? The 18 or sorry, weird. There's like it's weird. Netflix says there's like 18 to watch, and then it says there's 13.
Huh.
That's a bit of a glitch. But anyway, there's 18 films to watch, and that's all there is. And it's a shame, but hey, better than none. So
that's definitely going to be giving that a try. Actually, I'll see if that's on later. That actually sounds absolutely deadly. Has anybody else got anything?
Yeah. So my first pick is one that like I just truly from the bottom of my heart found that I love to bits.
Oh, okay.
That is the recent. I suppose it's fair to call it a recent readaptation of She-Ra and the Princess of Power.
Okay.
So it is. So effectively, if you remember the She-Ra cartoon, that was a spin-off from He-Man back in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Jesus.
Netflix and the creative team basically just took the characters and have just gone off and made a whole different cartoon. So like
it's the He-Man She-Ra.
Sorry?
It's the He-Man She-Ra.
Yeah. So
okay, because when you said She-Ra, I was like, that can't be the He-Man one. It must be something else.
It is. Now, He-Man, nothing to do with this series. This is an entirely standalone thing. I think and they've just built this. It's an action adventure series, kind of in the vein of like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Really, and it just like I'm finding it hard to put in the words because it's incredibly fun. Really enjoy just really enjoy like it's a character writing kind of really sold it on me. Like its characters all have completely fleshed out arcs throughout the entire series. And it for being, a kind of a kid's cartoon in the same way of Avatar, it still takes these characters and has them deal with pretty serious topics like grief and loss and tyranny and trauma.
Okay.
And which what would almost be uncommon for a series like this, it finished. It had its full run.
What?
Yeah, so
like it's just one season?
No, it's about 5.
Okay.
5 short seasons, so it's about 55 odd episodes.
Oh Jesus, that's a lot of episodes.
Oh, so it did what Voltron was supposed to do.
Yeah, that's I think like it literally from I never got around to watching that Voltron series, but everyone was like, yeah, like this is what everyone hoped Voltron would be. But yeah, and like it in its 5 seasons, it doesn't leave a plot hole open in my from what I saw.
Yeah.
And I think, and I ended up rewatching it over the weekend with my girlfriend just because I loved it so much and I wanted her to watch it.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think I can really mention it without bringing up its relevance in terms of queer representation, of which it does a truly incredible job.
How so?
Just it weaves it into the kind of the story without feeling tokenist.
Okay. Not just like,
and,
here is our gay man.
No, literally just like they're like a lot of prominent characters are are gay, are non-binary, and on top of that, like I think
Just
this is
they
the thing
are
you
who
can-
they are, and that's
literally,
just it,
and
it's not a thing.
it's really easy to kind of like just have that stuff passed off because it is a fantasy show.
Yeah.
So like it really just kind of does build this world as it is, and not to say too much for kind of plot spoilers, but I think that the show does have very landmark moments in terms of queer representation in media.
Oh, that's really high praise.
It is truly one of my favorite shows.
Jesus,
like,
no pressure if I don't
No
like it
pressure.
then. Like you won't
But like
hunt
no,
me
I can
down.
see like it is a very kind of particular thing. But I will recommend this show happily to anyone. And if you if you liked Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's another kind of one of those sorts of shows.
I never saw that show, but I will take your word for
Also,
it.
Also on
addendum,
Netflix.
also on Netflix.
Okay.
Yes.
And also incredible.
Patent
You got
pending.
you got a two for one there.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, like Avatar it's fantastic. It's so damn good.
Is it to do with the movie Avatar?
No, James Cameron has no hand.
No,
in it.
it's to do with the terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Last Airbender.
No, it
Oh,
has nothing
okay.
to do with that. No, we don't talk about that. That's
No, we
Okay.
have to talk about it because everyone needs to know their history, Gavin.
Ah.
We
I'm
cannot
not
let
okay. I get it. Erasure bad, but just a little erasure. Just a little.
You put the iodine on, Kevin. It's
No, Avatar
Avatar's
is just like okay. I guess I'm jumping into a second one here that I didn't plan, but
No, go for it, please.
It is one of the greatest crafted adventure stories.
it's so beautifully plotted.
Oh.
Like basically the way it sets itself up is that the seasons are called books.
Okay.
And in each season there's about 20 episodes
Okay.
across them, but like it basically it sets itself up to have like really clear blocking of going, so this is what happens in the first 20 episodes. From there we get that kind of sets up like point A to point B, and then from point B to point C, and then from point C to point D. And it does such a like a careful job of getting it across each of those points, and it's very, very satisfying by the time that you get to the end of the story.
All done while being built in this staggeringly well realized world where each country and system has different socio-political parties, and like again, and all of this wrapped in a magic system which is rival to none.
Wow.
In its diversity, because it's a magic system based in 4 elements, and each have their own strengths and weaknesses against each other, and the interplay of it. It's one of the greatest fantasy stories ever told.
It's brilliant.
Jesus.
It's really, really good. Like, I mean, there's so many different ways to kind of go, well, why is Avatar good? Like, I mean, the voice acting cast is staggeringly brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, like, I mean, some of the supporting role characters involved in it are Mako, who was in the Karate Kid films. Mark Hamill is in it.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of his name from Star Trek, who's also in it for a good chunk.
Patrick Stewart?
No, he was from the original Star Trek. The Asian guy. I can't think of his name.
George Takei.
George Takei.
George Takei is in it as well.
I love him. Actually, genuinely love him. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, rest in peace.
Yes.
Oh.
But
Rip and pepperoni.
yeah, rip and tear,
Wow.
rip and tear.
Wow. His son does a great job though, controlling his Facebook memes and stuff, because that's what George Takei was so great at.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Facebook was memes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew he was a meme, and he was like, I'm just going to run with this. It was
Yeah.
absolutely fab.
That's what you do. Actually, hold on. It's weird, right? Because just at the point, right, with the Netflix thing, it's important to say that like there's not only like current stuff like new series, there's also like original series and that's kind of what we're jumping around. And then there's just like some cool movies and stuff like that as well. But it's
Yeah,
great. There's so much to talk about. So
there is. To be fair, like we actually found.
Sorry, guys. George Takei is still alive.
oh, then
Well,
I take
as
back
Darian knows, I'm super awesome.
I had to fact check that.
well, then I take back my
So many
ripped
people. So many
pepperonis.
people have died.
Oh my god. Well, hey, good news, everybody.
I'd say you're thinking of
Okay.
Leonard Nimoy. Is it Leonard Nimoy's dad, isn't he? Jesus.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah,
they
Leonard
come
Nimoy
around.
passed away.
He died.
Yeah.
If he isn't dead, then they shouldn't have buried him.
Well, hopefully, if they did, he had a little bell that you could ring.
Yeah, ding-a-ling-a-ling. But you know what? Speaking of like kind of random movies on Netflix, me and my mom actually discovered Wolf Creek. Well, not discovered, but we actually found Wolf Creek 2
Yes.
on Netflix, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, just those movies where the sequel far surpasses the original, but the original is so good, and you're like, how?
Oh, you mean like Shrek 2?
No.
Or the most famous of all the sequels, Electric Boogaloo 2,
Hmm.
which is where the meme comes from.
Yeah, no, but Wolf Creek 2 was absolutely unreal. It just kind of took everything good about the first movie and then it's like, let's just amplify this and twist it. And it's just done really well. And it goes like to these really kind of almost Rob Zombie places, but doesn't. And
Very
it's like,
cool.
it kind of does it in such a way where it's like, it gives you all the really creepy, gory stuff, but doesn't like ham fist it and kind of punch you in the face with it and overstay its welcome. The ending is really bad, but we're going to let that go because the entire movie is just so good. And like John Jarratt is just like, I heard bad things about him, man. Like, it's like people apparently don't want to work with him because he's really crazy. And I'm like, that just makes the movie even better because I know he could actually be like that in real life.
Really good movie you should watch, actually, Lisa, if you're looking for an underground horror movie.
Mm,
There's two. There is actually it's not on Netflix. Sorry,
that's okay.
it's called The Pledge, but definitely do
Cool.
watch it. It's fantastic.
Mm.
But the one on Netflix is called Cruel Peter.
Cruel
and-
Peter.
Yes, Cruel Peter. It's it's about this archaeologist, and he ends up working in Italy. But it follows
Ooh.
this family that had this son who's a little, you know what.
Yeah.
But he ends up being like a very, very horrible ghost, and it's got possession, and it's super fun. Yeah, it's great.
Right, I'm gonna look that up after the show because that sounds right up my street.
Yeah, it really is a good one. And Oculus as well, I think, was on
Oh,
Mm,
yeah.
I
Netflix. Super
saw that
good,
added,
super
Yeah.
good, super good movie.
WWE Studios film.
Yes, it is. I was actually at the Irish premiere for that, and I was
Yeah.
horrifically surprised by how good it was. 'Cause I couldn't believe it. I was like, "This is a WWE movie. It's really good. Oh my god, there's Karen Gillan. This is great."
Yeah.
So I had a good time.
All right.
And if you like
so
things that are
you mean
WWE,
to
there's
tell
a
me-
show on this network called The Wrestling Rewind you can check out.
Oh, you plugged enough.
Hey, guys,
Dave, you haven't
Never
told
stop promoting.
Dave, you haven't told us your pick yet. What's
Yeah,
going on?
I've been waiting.
Well, I'm not driving the bus. I was waiting for the
I'm
bus
waiting.
driver to Hong Kong. That's all.
You
Hong
gotta jump in
Kong.
here. It's a free for all, man.
Hong Kong,
All right.
Gotta
baby.
throw yourself in front of that bus.
Throw myself
Yeah,
in
I'm not
front of the bus.
stopping. I'm
Thunder-
just driving. You want to come on? Just get a mask on and jump on, baby.
Yeah.
This
This
is
is
actually
a
how George
Thunderdome.
Takei died.
You
He
just
jumped
have to
in front of the
dive
bus
right
one day.
in.
I don't know if anybody- Good, that went under the
So-
radar.
Officially,
Anyway.
Dave Stevens, what do you
Yes.
recommend?
Oh my gosh. Well, first, it's a great day for Nerdflix, everybody. I love
Yes.
this concept. If you can't tell by my background, that's a show that I am recommending.
Ooh.
Waco is a mini series on Netflix. And if you like cults, if you like government corruption, if you love cults, let me just reemphasize, if you seriously love cults, you will absolutely love this. This is
man.
something that, again, we were talking, it's almost Tiger King-esque, not in content,
Oh.
but in terms of it's something you can watch in one day. It's
Ooh.
6 one-hour episodes. My girlfriend and I just binged it in one day. And man, what I like most about it is the fact that it's based on 2 books. One is a book called A Place Called Waco, and the other is a book called Stalling for Time, My Life as an FBI Hostage Negotiator, which is written by the guy who did the negotiations on this, which is played by Michael
Ooh.
Shannon in the series. And it provides a really interesting perspective on the whole what went down at Waco. It starts with Ruby Ridge and how the FBI kind of muddled that all up, and how the decisions in Waco were basically based upon the mistakes that they had made there, and they didn't get into it, but they could have, with Janet Reno and her going quite overboard. That resulted in a fire that took down and killed many, many people. They kind of glanced over that, which Netflix has a certain bias, so I understand why. But this I thought was absolutely phenomenal. And the reason I liked it is the same reason that the critics gave it mixed reviews. They actually show David Koresh as a sympathetic character. And they really explore his psychology. They explore why people would be attracted to him in the first place. They explore the fact that it was never about violence. Now, I'm not making it out like the guy was a good dude. There was obviously some messed up stuff that happens, as in all cults. You know, they all seem to follow a certain little path into some scumminess when it comes to multiple wives and stuff like that. Melissa Benoist, since we mentioned some DC CW stuff, who plays Supergirl, is in it. She plays one of his wives. She is fantastic. And one of his wives, yes. And another really interesting actor in this is Macaulay Culkin's brother. Yeah.
No.
Which one?
Rory.
Oh my God.
I didn't know he had brothers.
Yeah,
he
he
does,
did.
yeah.
He's famous for being in the Lords of Chaos movie, Rory.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's very talented. Does look a lot like his brother. It takes a little bit to get used to at first. But just,
like, what are you doing, Macaulay?
Well, if you watched him on JRE, he explained, I'm happy. I just do projects that make me happy if they come up. Otherwise, I've made my money and I'm good.
And that's why you see him on Red Letter Media all the time, just reviewing hackers.
Very true.
Which is
very
awesome.
true. But the great thing about Waco is that it has that tiger theme essence to it, where you get to an end of an episode and you just have to watch the next one. You just have to see, where is this going to go? And one of the things that, because this took place in 1993, the actual event, the Netflix series, which was originally aired on Paramount, was made in 2018. Something that I didn't remember, probably because I was 5 years old, is the fact that this was a 51-day standoff, which I can't even comprehend in like modern society, that it would go on that long.
That's crazy. That's like a proper siege. Like that's like there'd be like Lord of the Rings sieges and Games of Thrones sieges that would probably like last less time than that.
I should make a quick disclaimer that I'm not 100% sure if it's available on Irish Netflix. I'm American, so I have one American.
If you use the Brave browser, you can happily actually use their built-in capability to be wherever you want to be.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And we are so proud that the Brave browser sponsors the Wrestling Rewind as well. So
oh man, but that's weird because even in Tiger King they were referring to Waco, and I actually googled Waco because he was like, oh, if they ever try and take my tigers away, it's gonna make Waco look like, I don't know, Sunday school or something like that. And then there's also polygamy in Tiger King, so clearly this is just
there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of crossover. But see, it's like, I don't know, like, it's weird. Some of the stuff that we're talking about, like, it seems like, it just hit me, Netflix is the new Sky One of this generation. Because Sky One would have all this stuff. Like, that's the first time I heard about Waco was when I was 12, and there was a show on Sky One at like 2 a.m. I'm like, oh, rad, this is weird. and then it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it feels like.
I mean, I mainly use Sky and BBC and all that to watch snooker. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, I'm glad that you found that.
Well, yeah, it seems like it's been surpassed now by Netflix. Actually, one thing that you should totally watch if you haven't seen it yet, Lisa. Black Mirror is on Netflix.
Is it? I thought that was gone. Like that was in the atmosphere now. It wasn't. Is that still a thing?
Well, see, we're living through the current season of it, but you can go back and watch the other seasons of Black Mirror.
Oh.
Yeah, so, like it went series to ARG to now real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote Black Mirror, like the main writer for it, actually says, I'm not going to work on the 5th season until the current state of the world is kind of back to a sense of normalcy, because it's everything that I've been writing about is happening right now. Yep. So I need to take a break.
Is it?
Yeah. It is. It's getting more and more.
Oh,
Closer.
shit.
Getting closer.
Lads, we are living in the cyberpunk dystopia. It's just not the good one.
We're living in a depressingly dull cyberpunk dystopia.
Exactly. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
the really.
My
It's all the really.
neon.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Where's the neon? Where's
Yeah.
the trench coats? And where's the Unix boxes everywhere? That's all I want. And a
Well, you haven't
replicant.
looked in my closet close enough. That's the issue here.
On replicants, where are the robots? You know, the good robots, the ones that like you can.
No,
No,
we
how-
got as far as Roombas, and then we just stopped.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like you should be able to
I
walk
still
in and
delivered
see.
one of those yesterday.
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, Black Mirror. Totally. It's on Netflix. Definitely do watch
I
it.
thought that was one of those things I just kind of missed the boat on. I'm glad.
Oh,
that
no,
was
you
I
got
think
to.
with those Netflix acquisitions, they're not really going anywhere. They're still there.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
deadly because I
Oh,
haven't
no.
heard me talk about it in so long. Like it was a
And
huge thing.
if there's a great episode of Black Mirror that you got to watch,
Is it the
Miley
video
Cyrus has a
game one?
phenomenal episode
Oh,
that
I knew
actually
this
is
was
good.
on-
Christ, what is it with
knew-
you and Miley?
Oh, you don't know Dave. You don't know Dave Stevens. Welcome. I was waiting to see how long it'd be before he went on the Miley boat.
I think I think it was before you joined the Zoom chat. He's there talking about her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah. No. Well, I have to say it is a really good episode. All right.
Listen,
But-
I'm prepping it to be my first Debian system, so it might as well get a mention on this
Oh,
show.
Hannah Montana Linux. Yes, sort
Yeah.
of win.
Oh, for
Oh
God's
my
sake.
gosh.
It's
win.
BBing all day, my friend.
Oh no. Oh god.
But anyway, moving back onto track a bit. One of the other shows I would recommend heavily is now granted I haven't seen the second season of this, but the first season is good enough that it's worth checking out anyway. It's called American Vandal, and I don't know if anyone else here has seen it or not. But basically, it's shot like it's a documentary style thing, where it's the story set in this high school, where basically like this teacher's
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now exactly what the plot was, but a teacher's car is vandalized with penises drawn all over it.
Sure.
And there's one guy in the school who's just
Yeah.
known for drawing dicks everywhere.
There you go.
Okay.
And but the thing is that the people who are making this documentary, they're also students in the school. They're
Right.
they're in a couple of years below the guy who was accused, but they're going like, hang on, some things just don't make sense here.
Okay.
So they make the documentary to prove his innocence, and it's brilliant. It's taking like a ridiculous story so seriously, and the depths it goes to is brilliant.
So
All about a grind.
It's kind
this
of-
is
Yeah,
about.
it
So let me just get this straight.
Sure.
So this is about a guy in high school.
Yeah.
Who draws Mickeys on teachers'
who's-
cars?
who's accused of doing it.
Who's accused of drawing Mickeys on teachers' cars,
Yeah.
and then they make a documentary to prove his innocence.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And
I'm watching that.
yeah, it's great. Like, but it because the thing is it's like shot like a documentary, but the story is like
And is this,
presented as a kind of like a murder mystery. It's presented like a whodunit. and
Is
it's
it
great.
serious?
Who done
Like,
it?
is it
So-
like a
it's so
Spinal Tap
serious.
thing, or is it actually like, is it a mockumentary or an actual like mock documentary? Like, is it meant to
no,
be a mock documentary, or is it meant to be like?
Is it Spinal Tap or?
It's played
Yeah.
It's played pretty straight. I wouldn't say it's like Spinal Tap because because with Spinal Tap there's a whole tongue in cheek feel
Yeah.
to Spinal Tap that like they know that they're not actually an English band.
They're not. What?
Until they were.
What? What? Did you just say Spinal Tap aren't real?
Yes.
What?
Well, that's how dare you?
They're real
Next
in
you'll-
our
Next,
hearts.
you'll be telling me that Death Clock aren't real.
Death Clock are the most
Well,
real band
I,
ever.
Yeah.
I have bad news for you, my friend.
No, they're
but-
real, and his name is Brendan Small.
That's fair. But yeah, like it's played a lot more seriously than that, but like there's like naturally occurring humor in it. But
That actually sounds gas, to be honest.
it's so good. It's trying to walk a tightrope. I haven't seen the second season, so I can't speak for it. But the first season is walking a tightrope. In my opinion, it absolutely nails it.
That just
because
sounds
it's just-
bizarre.
It's so great. Like it
Yeah.
just because it does such a good job of making you feel for a lot of characters
Oh.
in it. It's great.
I don't want
Like,
to feel Bryn.
Everyone wants to feel.
No.
Well, Lisa, if you don't want to feel, there is
What
a show.
shouldn't I watch?
No, you should totally watch in this crazy world of SJWs and cancel culture. A show which exists and shouldn't, because I don't know how it still exists, but the best show filled with the worst people who you can possibly imagine. But we love them anyway. Always Sunny in Philadelphia is on Netflix.
How can you not love Always Sunny? Granted, I live in a Philly suburb, so
it is the best. It is the best show filled with the worst people.
Yeah. I literally cannot watch it because I get anxiety attacks.
Really?
Oh God, no! I do watch it.
Oh man, I love it.
It is catharsis innate.
Here's the thing, though. I was bullied into watching it by my entire band, who would just keep making references.
Okay.
So I was like, right, and I love it.
I have seen the wrestling episode, and it's brilliant.
Wait, I need to actually like understand this for a second, because I want to let me give a little background. Like, I used to bartend in Philadelphia. Somebody that I worked with used to date Mac in high school, like in real life.
No way!
I actually have a connection to this show.
That's so funny.
And a lot of my friends live in Philly. Like I said, I live in a suburb, but it's very accurate to the way that they live their lives. I mean, the show description, like the joke is it's Seinfeld on crack, and it literally is Seinfeld on crack.
It is the single best show that I don't know how it exists in today's society, because everyone gets cancelled about everything.
Well, you see,
it's
not
so good.
Oh, it's not made anymore is the answer to that question, Dara.
Oh, fair, but it still exists.
Oh no, like it's because like it goes up to the line that would have like people kind of questioning the morality, and it pole vaults that line and keeps sprinting.
It's the absurdity factor. You cannot
cancel it because it is beyond parody.
Exactly.
It's kind of like Doug Stanhope as a comedian, where he's uncancelable. You know, like you go like, well, you can go like, but like Doug did all these terrible things, and you go like, yeah, but Doug made a stand-up show about them 12 years ago. So like,
hold on,
what are you gonna do?
Lisa, have you actually seen any of this show?
No, I'm shaking my head if you can't see.
Okay, one of the big reoccurring parts of this is they make their own versions of Lethal Weapon.
Oh,
right? Now there's no black characters in the cast.
I forgot about that.
So they just all take turns to play Danny Glover.
Oh my God!
And it's just, and it's like that's what they do. You know, that's the show. Mac plays an ultra Catholic gay man who's homophobic and then ends up not being, and it's like,
right,
what's going? It's so
The
funny.
one scene that is forever burned into my psyche is an incredibly sweaty naked Danny DeVito crawling out of a couch.
No.
That meme's been going around recently. I like that one.
But what I think is fun, what's hilarious about it is, right, that Danny DeVito character shows up, and because the gang is so toxic, it drags everybody down. Like, there's a priest in it.
Oh yeah.
His whole life gets destroyed purely by associating with them, and he
starts off as a puritanical priest, and by season 10, he is a crackhead with robot legs.
Who is a man of the street who does things for money.
Absolutely.
That is some career change.
It is phenomenally good.
And if you like true crime, how's that for a segue?
Oh, I do.
The show is a crime.
If you like true crime, there's actually they just started a reboot of Unsolved Mysteries that I was very skeptical about. But it's actually quite good. Instead of doing multiple mysteries throughout the show, they spend just the entire hour on one mystery.
Okay.
No, we got you. That's not real. We got you. That's a trick.
They're captivating. I gotta say, I was skeptical, but it is. If you want something that you can like casually watch in the background, and it'll scratch your head and make you think like, who done it? Like we were talking earlier. It's really good for that.
I'll bear that in mind. Actually, just out of curiosity, so we're all talking about like really top tier, high quality or low quality stuff. What is actually really shitty on Netflix that I shouldn't watch?
Just
what
type
should I
in
avoid?
Time travel and watch any movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just time travel and any movie, and you're good, and you're pretty much good to go. I don't know. See, Netflix is just kind of something that you stick on, and then you kind of just go. And it's all there is a certain quality to everything on it. It's not like the time I went through Amazon Prime.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I had to stop watching because there was literally some lad with a video camera just walking around in his horror movie with his wife.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty
yeah.
bad. So you won't find that on Netflix. You will find some level of quality.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
Bright is
thinking.
pretty
Yeah.
shit though.
Oh,
Bright
yeah.
is pretty shit
Yeah.
though. Like,
Especially though, just with the stuff that like Netflix have actually put their stamp on, whether or not they produced it or they just acquisitioned it, that like it is in itself kind of almost a seal of quality.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing.
Now, obviously, there's obviously all the stuff that they've just kind of licensed and bought and put on. So like, and that can just vary wildly.
Okay, well, what would you say the worst thing that you guys have seen on Netflix that you were like, that's like 90 minutes of my life?
Oh, I got this easy right
No,
off the
do you know
bat.
what I did?
Dave,
You want to go first, Kevin, or me?
I'll go quickly.
Okay.
Because I watched this as part of what was going to be a previous Nerd to Know episode on live action adaptations.
Okay.
Oh dear.
It's not the
Oh,
one
no.
you're thinking of, by the way.
Okay. Oh, is it Death Note?
No, it's not Death Note.
Okay.
And this was actually, I think this was a Netflix acquisition, so maybe what I was saying earlier is a bit shaky. But they at least bought the license for and released a live action adaptation of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh no.
That is
Oh my God!
appalling.
Why would you do that?
Truly terrible.
Why would you do that? Oh no. No.
And like it looks like it has the effects of something made in 2002, and it was made last year.
That's a great recommendation.
And
Wow.
again, 60 odd episodes of something.
What?
Hell.
Wait,
that?
No. As in, it takes a 60 episode thing and switches it to a 2-hour movie.
Well,
Jesus, that is definitely something I will not be even accidentally clicking on.
No.
So
Watch the series. The series is on Netflix.
Oh,
Don't watch
yes.
the movie.
No.
yeah, like Brotherhood is just like one of the best things that I've ever watched.
For sure. So Dave, what's your garbage fire?
I mean, I got to say, E.T. the Extraterrestrial by Steven Spielberg. That's no, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
No, you guys are into anime. I kind of caught that vibe
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm a huge fan of Godzilla.
Yes.
I love
Dave.
everything Godzilla.
Oh,
Yes.
And unfortunately, there
Oh,
is
no.
a Netflix trilogy of Godzilla animes that they're making. One of which is
making?
Well, in process. Some are out, some haven't
my
been.
God.
I completely missed this.
Yeah,
I am
uh,
excited.
Kev, you'll be
one
glad
of
you
them is
missed them.
called, I know. One of them is called Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. And it's the problem is, like, I love Godzilla so much that I sat there and I was like, hell yeah. And then I'm like, why did I say hell yeah? I don't know. I enjoyed it. If you like kind of not necessarily top tier stuff, but stuff that you might actually kind of enjoy, I'd actually recommend it.
I found it very underwhelming.
It
Oh.
is.
When it's more muted than I would expect a Godzilla film to be. I only saw the first one, so I can't claim for the
Especially a
second one.
Godzilla anime, because you think that'd be
Yeah.
like hyper stylized.
It's
I
the
don't
same
know
problem
how-
that the movies have that it's coming out, like King of the Monsters had, in that they spend too much time on the human characters.
Yes.
Just show me the monsters. I
We
just
just want
see
kaiju and
monsters
nothing
fight.
else. Like
Yeah.
it's just kaiju and kaiju action for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's so hard to understand.
That's all
Bring
we
on
want, guys.
Mothra!
But it's just
They
I
do
mean,
explore the manga a bit better, though. I would say
Oh.
than the movies do. Like you
Actually,
actually
just-
get to understand some stuff. Yeah.
While we're on this, just something I think I actually want to say, I want to bring up is the anime side of it, because Netflix has been doing, outside of Godzilla, a
Castlevania.
stellar job.
Castlevania.
Castlevania's one. They've been
Yes,
doing a
that's on
truly
the list.
incredible job with like anime acquisitions.
Mm.
Yeah, Castlevania,
Yeah,
truly amazing.
On the list.
Yep, love
On
it.
the list.
BNA is a new Trigger anime that came out that's been really fun.
Okay.
Beastars is one of the best dramas I've seen recently.
I haven't.
They have
I
Black
haven't seen-
Lagoon.
I haven't
Black
seen
Lagoon.
Baki, but I've heard
Baki is
nothing.
great. Baki is ridiculous. Baki's like just the most grotesquely over-muscled men just mauling the life out of each other.
That
fighting
sounds like
anime.
something you guys would be into, not
Oh,
me.
it's fantastic. But the one I'm going to pitch to you here is
Okay.
a little
Make
obscure
it
because I think,
count, Kevin. Make
this
it
is-
count.
mostly because I think this would appeal to you.
Okay.
This is a little ditty called Doro Hedoro.
Okay.
And let me pitch to you the first couple of minutes of the first episode.
Okay.
Okay,
Choose your words wisely.
complete. Okay, set complete squalor, dark, dirty, mank everywhere. A man with a lizard head fighting a group of ruffians. All the ruffians have magic, tries to use magic on the lizard man. Lizard man, impervious to magic. The lizard man kills a couple of them, then grabs the last ruffian standing, puts his head in his mouth for the man down the lizard man's throat to confirm if this was the wizard who turned him into a lizard man. Proceed with 13 episodes of uber violence.
Oh, wow. So
Okay.
good.
It is insanity, but it's very fun. The way, like, I remember the pitch, because I heard about the manga about a year ago,
Yeah.
but put off reading it when I heard that there was an anime being made, because I just kind of prefer watching things. And the pitch for me was, what if Berserk, but all of the main characters were goofballs.
Right. Okay.
It's
Okay.
very strange. It's very violent, but it's very fun.
Okay.
Like, I think the third episode in is a Night of the Living Dead parody.
Okay. That sounds like something we should do for Crash Course. That you should do.
Oh, it's going on the list.
Put that on the list.
It'll get there.
I
Don't
think
worry.
if you put it on the list for Crash Course, I may watch it.
Listen, we got time on Crash Course. I'll get to it. But yeah, no, like the Netflix anime acquisitions have been fantastic. They've been knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, because last night, when I went, I was like, okay, I've only got a little bit of window time. I'll just watch something, and I was like, I'll just see what they have in the way of anime movies. And it was one of those things. It's like, when you open the fridge, you're like, I don't want anything, but then you open the fridge, it's full of stuff, and I'm like, I actually can't make a decision here because I was literally like, there's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
I was like overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm not. Yeah, it's like I need an adult. I need someone else for me.
That's Netflix in a nutshell.
And like my next shout on that is the most recent anime they released, which is Japan Sinks 2020, which is a drama series directed by Masaki Yuasa, who is one of the greatest anime directors ever. Like his most famous one, another Netflix joint, would have been Devilman Crybaby.
Oh, okay.
But since that, like that was about 2 years ago. And since then, he's released Night a Short Walk On Girl, Blue Over the Wall, Keep Your Hands Off My Head, again, just fantastic series and movies across the board. He's a creative genius. So like, while I don't know the whole lot about Japan Sinks, I'm confident that I'm going to enjoy it.
Okay. I definitely think I'll have to look into that. Anybody got anything else? That's so much. I feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Welcome to Netflix.
I have one more true crime series to recommend.
Always.
So the one thing to note about this is that on the production team is David Fincher.
Okay.
Who did Seven and Fight Club and
yes.
A whole bunch of other
good
amazing
stuff.
films.
Yes.
And the series is called Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
Oh yes.
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 It's set in the early 70s, I believe.
Okay.
Where it's focusing around the FBI agents who created the oh god, I'm blanking on it now. Just hang on 1 second.
It looks like you're asking Homer.
I am asking.
It's based on the book that was written by the profilers that started the behavioral analysis units in the FBI, just to help you out a little.
Yeah, the behavior analysis unit. And like it's basically like a dramatized version of them them setting up that unit.
Right.
But the thing that makes it awesome is that they have full character interviews with the likes of Ed Kemper, Charles Manson, and a whole bunch of others. Like the guy they
the good stuff.
The guy they have playing Manson was also in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
Film, which is interesting. So like it's interesting because they came out like roughly around the same time, but yeah, it's so good. If you like true crime, and especially if you want to go into that kind of like psychological area, it's just so meaty. It's great.
That sounds like you need to kind of sit down and dedicate some time to that.
Yeah, I don't recommend
really
it I don't recommend it as a binge because it is something that you kind of want to savor and process.
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd kind of want to kind of appreciate
Yeah,
That's the right word. Like you'd want to kind of sit down and kind of give it justice. It sounds like they went to a lot of effort with that.
the problem with the show though is that it's so well presented that you do get a very Moorish vibe when you finish an episode.
Okay.
But it's very bingeable, but you probably shouldn't, is the problem.
Yeah, maybe you watch that first, then watch something a little lighter, going to bed kind of thing.
There's one thing I want to round out there.
Yes.
Before, like, you know, while we're here, and it'd be wrong for me not to bring it up. The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Is something you'll really enjoy. Now, I will say it is very intense.
Yes,
and
I heard that.
And there's one episode where you're like, this is absolutely hand-sweatingly scary.
Is that episode 4 or something?
Yeah, it's just, and you're not even expecting it. I remember I was watching it, and I'm like, I am absolutely terrified.
I'd forgotten about that. I remember my friend was obsessed with that, and I was meant to come over and have a sleepover at her house and watch it on Netflix, but she chickened out and wouldn't watch it. And I'm like, I came over here to watch this, but and she wouldn't.
Guys, remember we could all have sleepovers? That was a fun time.
Going outside? What's that?
You know what? I'm going to say it now. Outside was overrated.
Oh yeah, no.
Listen, I didn't go, but now I can't.
That's like me with McDonald's. I would easily go like a couple of years without having a McDonald's, without even realizing I had gone a couple of years without McDonald's. Now it's been 3 months. It's literally all I can think about. Like literally.
Lisa, this is the value of the market. I have a book you should read. It's by Ayn Rand. It's called The Fountainhead. Sorry, I had to.
Couldn't resist, could you, man?
I couldn't resist. No,
I got bingo. Anyone else?
Jesus Christ. Seriously, though. Has anybody else got anything really bad or really good or anything else to throw in before we start wrapping up?
I'll highlight because I absolutely despise it. Bright is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
wow. Yeah. It's not as bad as Gemini Man, but it's bad.
That's true. Yeah. Gemini Man is probably the worst thing I've seen in years, but Bright's up there.
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
Yeah.
What is it?
Who wants to take it? Like,
I mean, like there's just so much to unpack. Basically, like what it is like it's like a fantasy world, right? So like you've got elves, orcs, goblins, magic, all that stuff. But it's set in the modern time.
Yeah. I know. I remember being told about it, and then I blocked it out.
It also doesn't help that it's written by an absolute PC, you know what? But still.
Okay.
Yeah, it stinks.
You know the way like a lot of fantasy stories will use fantasy races like inherently evil races like orcs to counter racism, but do it in a kind of a subtle way. No, it's just
no subtlety.
Just
over
over
a big red stamp on that says black person, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally, it's no subtlety, no character, nothing. All pretense is dropped. It's just, here you go, I'm going to be preachy, and then it comes out that your man has no reason to be preaching about anything because he's an absolute monster.
It's just like, I mean, even on the merits of its own film.
Yeah.
The idea of even like presenting orcs in that fashion does nothing to actually like improve the story or anything. Like it doesn't contribute anything. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just done, and you're going like, but why did you do this?
It's like to go back to your McDonald's analogy. It's like when you're hungry and you're like, I'll go to McDonald's. I'll feel full. And then you're full for like 10 minutes, and then you're hungry again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally that, but the food is rancid at the same time.
I'd almost say that it's like, for me, it's more akin to like, you know, when you're hungry and you get McDonald's and you do eat enough to be full.
Yes.
And you know the shame you feel after you feel full.
Yes.
Shame.
The shame.
The shame.
Oh no, no one wants to post McDonald's shame when they're watching a movie.
Yeah.
See, what really kills the movie for me is that it was built up as if it was going to be some Oscar contender. It's starring Will Smith. Netflix made this huge deal about its debut and premiere,
like
and
Will
then you're
Smith,
just
David Ayer, and at the time an up and coming screenwriter who then would turn out to be a massive hack after this film.
I mean, he's no Ryan Johnson, but you know.
Yeah.
At least Rian Johnson tried.
like Rian Johnson
he actually does make good movies outside.
Yeah, to be fair, look, when
Rian Johnson made
Looper.
Johnson made no. I was going to say he made.
Not
That
Looper.
was
He
the,
made
ni-
something-
he made Knives Out. So any argument
Oh.
about him being a bad director
Yeah. No.
is absolutely invalid.
I
Knives Out-
watched
Knives Out's
that,
unbelievable.
and I got to the end, and his name came up as directed by, and my jaw just dropped.
Yeah, no,
Biggest
it's
twist of the
Was
film.
that the twist for you?
see the mistake he made, and this is a totally different show. The mistake he made was by going after the saga when Disney shouldn't have bought the saga and should have just left it with the books.
Okay,
That was the
one
problem.
final point for you, Lisa, for Netflix. It has recently got all of the Studio Ghibli movies.
Oh yes.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Sorry,
cool.
actually, and if you want another just good big anime, it also has all of Evangelion.
Ah, yeah.
So, like-
yeah.
Ooh.
That'll be for a
That's-
rainy day
There's your week.
or another lockdown. Another
There's your-
which might actually happen because that's what they're talking about now. So.
Spirited
Are
Away and
Yeah.
all of Evangelion. There you go.
Oh, man.
Nice to be out of one, guys. I don't know what that's like.
Oh wow! It's like being in lockdown, but much worse.
Yeah.
But like
Every-
now I have to go to work.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody is scared now.
Yeah, and no one, and everybody's wearing regular trousers. I have to wear trousers with a zip, and I'm like, but I've been wearing elasticated pajamas for 4 months. What do you mean I can't wear slippers in the shop?
No, I'll tell you what was weird, right?
Awful.
Wearing socks for the first time after 4 months. That was weird. I'm like, what? I have to wear socks? Oh, man, okay. And I couldn't find the socks. And I was like, where did all my socks go?
I'm
Oh
really
my
glad that when we do
God.
shows together, I only see you from the neck up. And now
Oh,
I
that's
super
fair.
understand why you're not even showing any part of your body on today's screen.
Fair. It's just like, no, I am wearing clothes today, people. Don't worry.
But we'll believe you.
We believe it. But yeah, socks were a weird adjustment for me post lockdown.
Oh my God.
Sentences I didn't expect to hear today. Socks were-
The world's better without socks. You know, you don't need them.
Oh my God.
That's the platform I got to run on.
I feel like that needs a show in and of itself, like some kind of intervention for Dara.
We've all learned
Say
something
hello
about
to
Dara today,
him.
and then we disown him.
Yeah, I can't unimage that from my head now.
Cancel Dara because of no socks.
Because of no socks.
I'm trying to you mount.
He's
It's
a
just not
sock
working.
hater. Get rid of him.
Don't get me wrong. I still have to wear them because, you know, we got to do it. But it was better when we didn't have to, guys. Just saying.
Because your feet would be nasty.
Have
I
you heard of
just think-
sandals? There was this guy called Jesus.
But if you had better arch support, though, he would have got away from the Romans. So
Oh, man. I don't know.
That
Ro-
seems
ro-
like a great note to
They'll leave it on.
Has Netflix actually ever done any sort of show where it's like the Passion of the Christ or something, or some sort of Jesus, like, because like, you know, Jesus, the
yeah, it's called
Netflix
Bright.
series.
No, but you
Didn't
can
they?
watch Hereditary. is the
Oh.
opposite.
And I
Love
recently
that
watched
film
Midsummer,
so
which
much.
isn't on Netflix, but
Ooh,
oh,
so good.
I am
Oh, very
dying to
good.
watch that. I am
Watch it.
Such a good movie.
screaming to
Such a
watch
good
that.
movie.
Oh, I
to
love
go back
that.
to my Waco point, if you like
Yeah.
cults, you will love Midsummer.
And Hereditary.
Yeah, no, I'm dying.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
like
Dark
feeling
Order.
only uncomfort, if you like being uncomfortable in your own skin, watch Midsummer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I tremendously
really
do. I like
Really
movies that remind me I'm alive. It's like
Hmm.
it's like you're not aware of your limbs until you watch someone else's be sawed off. You know.
You know,
That's
Lisa, you know
how
what's
I feel.
Lisa, you know what it's like? It's like when you have to wear socks for many years. And then you just get used to not wearing them. And you're just like,
Please.
well, okay, you know.
Please, Lisa, end the show. End it now.
I'm literally, I'm
Pull the
so
plug.
glad. This isn't going on the cloud, okay? This is going in a well. This is
It's
going.
going in the well.
Stop him before he becomes too powerful.
I think this show will accidentally end up in the trash bin, not in. Oops, was that the
Lord.
drive or
Well, guess this week's
recycle?
a filler reel.
Oh, no. Good
I-
times, good times.
Oh man, I don't think there's any way I can recover from that. I'm so sorry. I can't do the rest of the show after that.
Good Lord.
Like, way to raise the bar and then just like completely lower it. Like, this is brilliant.
Well, it seems like a great time to remind everybody to support the Brave browser and also check out the Wrestling Rewind, which is available Tuesdays here on Nerd to Know Media. And hey, see this thing down here? That thing, if you're watching us on YouTube? Yeah, that's my Instagram handle. It's also my Twitter, but forget Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram and watch me juggle stuff. It's awesome.
Juggling
There, I'm
Gareth's
done
socks.
shilling.
If you can find them, because I don't know where they've gone.
Oh my God.
If you find them, ship them over to me, and I'll juggle your socks for you. How's
So
But
that
there
sound?
like, do you answer the phone at work not wearing socks?
No, he tells them that they have to speak up because he's not wearing socks.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. I have a rug and I'm happy. So
Wow, this show's taking a turn.
That's like earrings.
Well, Dave started vlogging, so I guess I'm going next. You can see me on the Nerd to Know Media channel the first Monday of every month on Anime Crash Course, where we review a new anime series each month. It's a fun time. Lisa's there sometimes. It's great.
what's coming up next? What's
The next one is going to be The Promised Neverland, a psychological horror show.
Ooh, fun! I
Very
might be on
spooky, very
that.
cool.
I might pop on that if it's not full.
I don't know. You said you would be on the Dragon Maid one. You weren't there for that. You weren't there for us on their time of need.
That's true. That's true. But you guys pulled it out. I really enjoyed it. It was super awesome.
That was awesome.
It was really
real
good.
fun. Yeah, do check out our last episode, Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid. It's real fun.
You know, my favorite part of the show is like Keen's reaction to everything that you put him through. I
don't think he quite understands the depths of how weird anime can get.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm like, this
he's
is
not
brilliant.
going to find a bottom.
No, you will teach him.
He's learning, though.
There
He's
is no
learning.
nadir.
It's like his reaction to professional wrestling, but amplified like 100%. It's brilliant.
Explaining
Yeah, it's
anything
like
about
anime. That's
explaining
anime.
anything to Kian about Lucha Underground is just makes him go. But what? How is that even a thing?
Yeah, that's anime. It's wrestling times 100.
Yeah. Especially with what's the
Baki?
there's the anime? Well, yeah, there's Baki, but then there's also the anime around Tiger Mask as well. Which,
Oh my god, amazing.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell you the name. I do know the one. Can't remember the name.
But no, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to check that out. I don't know if I get time to watch it in between. I will definitely do my very best. But myself and Dave have a show about Atlantis coming up, guys.
Yes, we do. With
with Keen. So we had to swap out we had to swap out Ian. We had to swap out co-host now, so we've brought in Keen to do it. You guys are welcome to join us if you want to talk about conspiracies. But it's going to be all about Atlantis, so super excited for that. That's probably going to be next month at some point.
Yeah, if you like Ignatius Donnelly, if you like Edgar Casey, just tune in. Things are about to go into the dark and emerge from the dark.
Exactly, super
Is
weird.
that our tagline? Can we make that? We'll come up with one.
We'll come up with one. We'll get it. We'll get it in post. We'll get it in post.
It'll be a thing.
And Bryn, what about yourself?
Post.
So currently still in getting a few more bits and bobs developed for my upcoming show Tech Takeover, which has been upcoming for about 4,000 years now.
I want the Miley Cyrus browser Linux covered. Hannah Montana Linux.
There's definitely going to be a Brian Fantana-esque thing called Distro Watch on it. So
I know that you just glanced over that, but if you do include that, I would actually check that episode out.
Yeah, no, I will absolutely be doing a thing on all the ridiculous, Linux and Unix OS.
I actually want to create that
because there's Hannah Montana OS, BB and Doji OS, just to name three that will be absolutely covered. But then again, that means I have to do a video component, and I'm not really sure if I want to do that. So, that is still in the works. So as soon as there's more news there, I just made my theme song. So I'm happy enough with that. So the next thing now is to get a logo made. So look out for that, guys.
There we go. And Lisa, I want to thank you very much for having us on the show. This was super fun. Sorry for derailing the show.
That with your feet, that's fine. Okay.
Well, I didn't derail with my feet. I'm just trying to expand.
No, we all saw it. He kicked us off the show.
To be fair, you can derail Nerd to Know Media on 92.5 Phoenix FM. I said that backwards, but you get the gist. You can derail that all you want, but you can never derail Straight Outta Canto, your #1 podcast for nerd culture, nightmare fuels, and nostalgia. We have got some new changes coming to the format. We have got some extremely exciting interviews that will be aired and released over the coming weeks. We've got some American horror DJ royalty coming on. We have got an American Japanese horror specialologist person who's like an actual expert in the field of J-horror. I've got someone who's really angry with Penny Dreadful, the new season, and I've got someone on who's actually like a really cool Irish folklorist who like does some really cool things that are quite frighteningly cool. So
I'm in that show. I'm in Penny Dreadful season 3.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm in all of it. Like
seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
As who?
Oh, I'm an extra. This is the time when me and Bryn were extras in loads of things. So he was in Fair City loads, and I'm in loads of random shows. Penny Dreadful being my main.
Yeah, I've got a guy on who like was in Game of Thrones and stuff, so we're talking about that on Straight Outta Canto, because now I have some class of a microphone I can actually get people on, because I'm the least interesting person I know. Everybody I know is absolutely fascinating, so
let me not tell you about my life.
Is it as interesting as Dara's feet?
Nothing can be.
This is the real star of the show.
This is
Sarah,
about my.
How did you manage to defeat this show? I just don't understand.
This isn't about my feet, guys. It's about the. It's about the
socks.
It's about the joys of living without the restriction of socks.
Yeah.
Text
again,
socks to 5555 to donate a pair to Dara.
Happy dude.
1 sock to happy dude.
Oh, okay. If you wish to be as happy as me, donate your socks to Happy Dude.
Burn the sock. Feel the shag betwixt your toes.
I think I'd be happier with my socks.
Next time I ring anyone on a customer service, I'm just going to be thinking that they got socks on her.
We're all going to be dreaming sweet, sweet dreams of Dara's feet.
Again, this is not my fault, guys. This is not my fault.
Does it just make it easier to adjust your guitar pedals? Like, is that the...
Actually, I did know.
Oh, no, that wasn't a real question.
No, here's the thing. Most drummers that you watch aren't wearing socks. They're just drumming. You know, they're not wearing shoes either. It's a thing, guys. Enlightenment.
Dara's learned a skill where he can, modulate the wah with the foot, but still then control the gain with his pinky toe.
Exactly, that's what you do. No, the real challenge is to be able to open and close elevators with your feet, because in this world where we have the virus, you don't want to be touching things, but your feet, you're not going to be touching your face with your feet. So
wow, that's taking pen testing to a whole new level.
There you go.
I feel like Mayor Quimby right now. Can't we go one Zoom meeting without us bringing up your feet?
Well, there we go, guys.
I mean, it was the feature of the podcast.
The feet, sure. All right, okay. Do you know what, guys? I am calling time on this. This has been an absolute disgrace. This was Nerd to Know Media guest hosting with Straight Outta Canto, Wrestling Rewind, Bryn, Anime Crash Course, and Dara.
Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.